Welcome to Podge Australia. Today we are making an Agario cake. Now, if you don't know what Agario is, it is a computer game that is highly addictive, and I discovered it on the weekend and it inspired me to make this cake. You're going to want an 8-inch cake that is decorated in white fondant. I have some yellow, green, pink, blue, red fondant. I have some different size circle cutters. And I also have some silver shimmer powder if you really want to define the lines that we're going to make with this ruler, but it's not really necessary. I did think I was going to really do that, and I ended up scratching it because it really didn't need to be done. But let's get on with decorating our cake. So the first thing we're going to do is pop a ruler onto our cake, and as it is 20 centimetres, yes, centimetres across, I'm going to mark off every second centimetre. I am then going to use my lovely straight eye and ruler to mark those lines across the cake, because the game of Agario is played on sort of a grid background, so we need to make the grid on our cake. You do need to have a bit of a straight eye on this one and press down onto that fondant so that you have a nice straight line. If you do mess it up, just rub it out and do it again. Then turn the cake 90 degrees and do the same thing again the other way so that you get that lovely grid pattern on the top of your cake. This is going to be the base of our cake for the game. Again, if you haven't seen it, it's www.agario.com, which is AGAR.io. It is a very basic game where you are just like a spot and you end up eating other spots. I'm getting sidetracked. You can see here I have made the lines on my cake by simply holding the scalpel tool on the side and turning my turntable around. It's not the straightest of lines around the side, but you can cover all that in with all your polka dots. So moving on, I'm going to start with my red dots first, just doing dots of all different sizes and placing them all over the place on the cake. You are also going to want to make sure that you do some of your circles with a cut in the side like they are being eaten, because the purpose of the game is to eat smaller dots and grow in your size and become the biggest cell. I think they call them cells, so they must be like little blood cells or some sort of cell. But you are a cell, and your purpose is to eat smaller cells, but you're also trying to get away from the bigger cells that are trying to eat you. So you're constantly on guard, trying to eat, get bigger, but also not get eaten yourself. So make sure that on this cake you do also have some of the cells being eaten, and you can do that by simply using your circle cutters and cutting an impression into one and then adding it up with another circle when you get your next colour cut. So I'm going to start with my red. I'll move on to all the other colours, but it really is just once you've got that grid pattern done on the top of the side of your cake, is cutting out all the different sizes of the different colours of circles and just putting them wherever you like on the cake. The one other thing that you do need to create for this cake is the green spiky cells. So grab yourself some green fondant. Again, you can simply use your circle cutter to cut out these shapes if you don't have a spiky cutter, which I do not. So cutting out a round circle and then taking some time, this does take some time, but get one of your little scalpel cutters and just cut little triangles out of the sides so that it gets a spiky edge all the way around the side. Kind of like a medal. There you go, or a sun. That's what you're looking for. These are the little spiky cells that are in this game, whereas if you collide with them when you're too big, it will completely split you into tiny little cells. So that is a big part of the game. Otherwise, it's just a polka dot cake if you don't put the spiky cells on. So make sure you create a couple of those to put on the cake. Then you can simply spend your time adding in more colours again, adding in the colours of pink, red, yellow. There's also purple, you've got light blue, you do have another green. There are so many colours. If you want to spend all that time colouring lots and lots of fondants, absolutely go ahead. The other thing is when you are a split cell, you all group together, so make sure you put a couple of those in there. I've got a larger cell that's been split into 5 other cells, and that does all sort of join together and eventually merge again, but do make sure you pop that in there because that is another feature of the Agario game and a true fan will know. But that is the Agario cake. You can also write names on the cells. People can name their cells. If you like this cake, make sure you give us a thumbs up, hit the subscribe, comment, let me know if you play the game. I play it with the name Grrr, Grrr, so if you see me on there, please don't eat me, and we'll see you again real soon.